myself, Bharti Dubey, and I will explain about polarization exhibited in dielectrics. So generally when we have studied up till now, we know that what are conductors, what are insulators. Conductors, they are having free electrons, and then they are having free electrons generally metallic by nature, and these electrons are free and they can move in any direction. When we have studied about insulator, as we were continuing with electrostatics, all the charges are at rest because they are bound to nucleus, they are not free. There comes one more material that is called dielectric. This dielectric, when we are dealing in this dielectrics, actually we are having charges but they are not free. But if a small amount of energy anyhow is applied to it, then these charges can be made little bit free to get transferred from one place to another, and that is what we are calling it as polarization. In general, two types of molecules are there, one polar and one non-polar. Now you may ask, what is difference between this polar and non-polar molecules? Polar by name itself, you can understand that it is having two poles, one positive pole, one negative pole. And these positive ions and negative ions which are there, or positive poles and negative poles which are there, their center of gravity will never coincide, and being they are having two poles, they will have a permanent dipole moment. No problem. But here when we are coming to non-polar, the center of gravity of positive and negative charges are coinciding each other. They do not have poles, they do not have dipole moment also. What we have to do to develop poles in this type of materials which are non-polar, and what is the basic principle behind the development of dipole, so that that particular non-polar molecule may have a dipole, permanent dipole moment can exist there. So for that we are having one basic principle that is called polarization. So that polarization only I want to deal today. This polarization means whenever a non-polar molecule whose positive and negative parts center of gravity is coinciding with each other, and they do not have two different poles, and if they are placed in a applied electric field, what happens? So as this polarization, if we are putting that, this non-polar molecule will start to stretch, and when it starts to stretch, the positive part or positive charge will be aligned along the direction of electric field, and negative part against the direction of negative field. Like that, this non-polar molecule has been converted into polar. But for that we have to apply electricity, we have to apply electric field intensity. Now here we are coming to polarization vector. So when we are coming to polarization vector, it describes the extent to which a molecule of slab gets polarized. Suppose we have taken one slab here, and this slab is there, so this molecules are getting polarized, this minus, this plus, and here the molecules are getting polarized, this plus and this minus, like this towards both the boundary. According to the direction of electric field, the molecules of slab becomes polarized. This slab actually is called dielectric slab. So polarization exhibit in dielectric slab. What we have to do for that? Here we have to apply one positive plate, and here we have to apply one negative plate. So obviously on this dielectric slab, this side negative charges will get induced, and on the other side positive charges will get induced. So like that, this dielectric slab, which was having randomly oriented dipoles, are now aligned, and they have, on the dielectric slab we have got induced negative charges opposite to the direction of electric field and positive charges on the face in the direction of electric field. This phenomena which is existing in dielectrics is known as polarization. So this, to describe the extent to which a molecule of slab get polarized, is called the polarization. Now if that polarization has to exist, that material should have induced dipole moments. On what factor this induced dipole moment or dipole density depends? It depends upon electric field. Already I have shown that this induced dipole moment represented by small letter e is directly proportional to electric field. More and more electric field we apply, more and more stretching takes place. So there is a limit of electric field also. If we will apply the electric field, after a certain limit, the tolerance of that dielectric slab molecules is lost to have concentrated on applied electric field. What will happen? That particular dipole molecule can get dissociated into ions. So we have to apply electric field within the range of the electric field strength of dipole molecule which are present in the dielectrics. Here P is directly proportional to E. Now we have to apply a constant. So constant of proportionality, here we are having alpha. This alpha is polarizability and this is called here alpha, and you have to keep that in mind. This alpha which is existing here, its dimensional formula is LQ, meter unit meter cube. So to maintain the dimensional formula, we have to multiply this alpha with epsilon 0, that is permittivity, and then when we are finding the formula for alpha, dimension of P divided by dimension of epsilon 0 into dimension of electric field, finally we are getting L cube. So this is the formula. P is equal to alpha epsilon 0 E, and this is the formula for induced dipole moment. Polarizability. What is that alpha? Polarizability. Why it is called polarizability? Why it is called polarizability? It is called polarizability because we are having alpha as P upon E. Induced dipole moment per unit electric field. So polarizability. To the extent we can develop induced dipole moment on the given. Here dimension of P we know, dimension of epsilon 0, previous videos explained, dimension formula for electric field also previous video it is explained, and this alpha we are getting MQ, important part of NCERT for 12th class. Now this induced dipole moment density and polarization vector, these are two different terms. Induced dipole moment is represented as small letter p and polarization vector is represented as capital letter P. So when we are dealing with that, you have to keep in mind this polarization vector is actually dipole moment per unit volume. Dipole moment per unit volume. Here we are having now, if plus q, now you see when we are considering a small dipole, means this is one molecule, and in this molecule we have, on application of electric field, this molecule, small molecule has been got polarized, one side plus one side minus. The distance can be taken here as dx. because very small distance will be existing, elementary distance in a molecule, one side positive, one dx. So now dx, then dipole moment. Now when we are finding out the dipole moment, what is the formula for dipole moment? Charge into distance. So if n number of, what you will get here, charge q into dx, this is either charge into distance, either charge q distance dx. If there are n number of dipoles, this q into dx is only for one single dipole. If there are n number of dipoles, what happens with n number of dipoles? It will become n into q into dx. So this capital P equals to n into P. That means total induced dipole moment is called polarization vector. So here we are getting P equals to, now for this small letter P, from this part we have substituted the value. You will get n alpha epsilon 0 E vector. From here, n is constant, alpha is constant, epsilon 0 is constant. What will happen? This polarization factor will become directly proportional to induced dipole moment or dipole density. Now we are coming to next part. This polarization vector and induced dipole density, we got a relation. Now this polarization vector is having a relationship with induced surface charge density, because now here charge densities are induced. They were actually not existing. On application of electric field, the left side has been converted to negative, the right side has been converted to positive. So these charges are induced, and because of presence of these charges on the two sides, we are getting induced dipole density. That is why it is written as Qi. This charge is also Qi because these charges are actually induced charges. Dipole moment we got, dipole moment per unit volume we will find out. And dipole moment per unit volume will be Qi upon A, because this dx and dx will cancelled out. And what is Qi upon A now? It is sigma I. So you can remember that this polarization vector dot n cap equals to induced charge density on the surface of dielectric. Here P dot n cap. What does this n cap represent? N cap is the unit vector perpendicular to the surface. On the basis of that, one more terminology is there, that is called electrical susceptibility. Electrical susceptibility. So when we are dealing with electrical susceptibility, again this polarization vector we have made directly proportional to E vector, and this polarization vector we are having epsilon 0 chi E. Again here we are having this epsilon 0 chi E as constant of proportionality. Chi is constant of proportionality, but it is a number. It is not having any unit. So to make it dimensionless, we have multiplied by epsilon 0. So this constant chi is called actually electrical susceptibility, and this describes the behavior of dielectric for, and if we are taking it for vacuum, now in vacuum there are no dipoles present, and no dipoles, no dipole moment. So finally for vacuum electrical susceptibility is 0. Now this chi is dimensionless, already I had constant, so it is made to be dimensionless. Epsilon 0 is, it is the number form. It is a number form. And this also electrical susceptibility generally describes the behavior. The meaning for that is whether it will allow the particular dielectric slab to polarize or not, and if it allow to polarize, to what extent it can be polarized. Here one more terminology which you have to keep in mind, that is dielectric breakdown. I have already told there is limit for everything. If more than enough more than the tolerance of dipoles present in the dielectric. If we are applying the electric field, obviously there can be dielectric breakdown. The dielectric slab will not develop induced charges on the two faces, but it will get dissociated into ions. So within limit, if we are applying the electric field, we can get a dielectric slab with induced charges, and this dielectric slab with induced charges is of very high application in our life. So that's all for today's video. Thank you.